Hello ladies, hello gents. Thank you for being here today. My name is Mira Skender and you know that I do not take your presence here for granted. So I came across this interview of former First Lady Michelle Obama where she was talking about her marriage to President Barack Obama, and she was talking about how people glamorize marriages, making it feel like there is no hardship or there is no compromise, thereby making the younger generation quit on their relationships too soon when there is a form of hardship. But then they fail to understand that there comes a time in marriage where you're going to have to slow down for the other person to lead, and the other person is going to slow down for the other one to lead, and vice versa. So I'm going to go ahead and play the video for you guys to watch. When I saw this interview, I was like, these are conversations that need to be had. These are things that people need to talk about to give the reality of marriages, especially to the people that are just getting into marriage or about to get into marriage, so that they understand what they are getting themselves into and if they are ready to make all these compromises. But before we dive right into the video, guys, if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, go ahead and hit that subscription button. Also hit the notification bell, that way you know when we do have new uploads. Share this video with your family and your friends so that they can come to know what we are doing here on this channel and get to know about things that need to be known. Let's dive right in, guys.
If I look over my marriage, if I were to judge it in year 5 or year 10, there was never 50-50. And so, yeah, there were times when I felt like I was 70% in and he was doing 30% because of the choices that I made in the terms of how I wanted our family to look.
Yeah.
I had to take my foot off of my career gas pedal, never putting on the brake, but slowing up a little bit. Those are the natural compromises that are required. And I feel bad when I see young people giving up on their relationships because there are periods of hard. So I think it's important for us to be honest in those conversations, not to glamorize what a partnership feels like, because then young people quit too soon.
This video that we've just watched is everything. She couldn't have said it any better. When I watched this video, it stirred up a whole lot of emotions within me, and it got me thinking about when I first met my husband up to the time that we got married. When we got married, we were broke. It was horrible because all we had was each other. The home that we were renting at the time, we couldn't even furnish that house. The first ever furniture that we got was gifted to us by a neighbor. The first meal that we had in the refrigerator was gifted to us by a neighbor. He gave us this whole big deer that he hunted down, and we cooked everything. I mean, literally everything with that. And it was okay at the time because we knew that we had each other. We knew the reason why we got into the marriage in the first place. Sometimes in life, people tend to compare their first step with other people's 10th step. As a newlywed just getting into marriage, you cannot compare your relationship with your partner at that time with someone who has worked on their relationships for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. You cannot compare the two. And that is why when most people get into their marriages and they are not seeing what they were expecting getting into that marriage, they tend to give up so soon because they do not understand the dynamics of a family. They do not understand the things that need to be done, the sacrifices, the compromises that need to be made for this family to be what you both want it to be. When we decided to get married, we got a lot of backlash from people because they couldn't see a reason why the two of us were getting married, because he was broke, I was broke, our families were broke. So in case something happened to us, there was no one that we could fall back to. So we had ourselves and only ourselves. And when you're at this like crucial point in your life, there is no other way but to go forward because you're already at rock bottom. There is no way you can go backward. All you have to do is go forward. That is why it is very important that when you're getting into marriage, you need to be whole, and this other person needs to be whole as well. Your values need to align to each other, because if you do not have values that align to each other, then you guys are going to face more problems than you were supposed to face. Because yes, in marriages there are turmoils, there are hardships, there are times where you don't even know where your next meal is coming from. Even though we came into the marriage very broke, one thing we had going for us is we came in willing to give 100% of ourselves. We came in willing to make sacrifices for each other. We came in willing to make compromises for each other. And above all, we came in with a growth mindset. We didn't have a fixed mindset, because a fixed mindset tells you that this is who I am, that this is what I know, this is what I am capable of, and this is where I am willing to stay. But we came in with a growth mindset which said, this is who we are now. This is what we are capable of doing now. This is where we are now. But we recognize that if we could just go through a certain process, if we could go through the rough, then we will be unstoppable. And that is a mindset that you have to get into marriage with. That is a mindset that you have to be in partnership with someone. Because marriage is a partnership. Having that kind of mindset is what is going to set you up for a successful marriage. Because when you're going through all this hardship, when you're going through the pain, when you're going through the uncertainty of tomorrow, you know for a fact that it's going to get better. I understand that we're in a social media age where people are putting their curated content online, and other people are looking at this curated content thinking that that is how the people are living their lives 24/7. Meanwhile, it is just a part of their lives. You don't know what is going on behind the scenes. You don't know the trials and tribulations that they are facing in their marriages. So what you have to do is shut out the noise, because that is just what it is, noise. Your marriage, it is a sacrament. It is a safe haven for you and your spouse. You have to focus on it. You have to try to build it rather than looking at other people, because when you take your attention away from what is important and put it on other people, then there is no way that you can thrive. There is no way that you can blossom. You will always feel like you're lacking behind. You will always feel like you're not doing enough, or your spouse is not doing enough. Meanwhile, you're doing exactly what needs to be done for your family at that time. There are days in my home where I am running on empty. I can barely get out of bed, and my husband fills me up. There are days where he's running on empty and I fill him up. That is how marriage is. There are times where he is going and going and going, and I have to slow down for him to go ahead. There are times where I am going and going and going, and he slows down for me to go, and we catch up. Those are the compromises you make. I remember a couple of years ago when I had my daughter. She was barely 4 months old when I got this project that required me to work out of state. Not only out of state, but a whole different time zone away from my family. I have 3 kids. I have my husband, but I had to leave them. And this was a time where my husband had just left his job to focus on real estate. And by the way, he has a great, amazing course online. I'm going to put in the link below. If you're looking to get into real estate investing, he is the right person to talk to. You will not regret it, because he is the best of the best. Trust me on that. Like I was saying, I had just been given this huge opportunity. My husband was just transitioning into the unknown. I just had a baby who was barely 4 months old. So we had to weigh the pros and the cons. We had to do what was best for our family. We decided that I was not going to pass up on the opportunity. So I had to travel out of state. He had to stay back with the baby and took care of the baby alongside my mom. In that situation, this was me accelerating while he was slowing down but never pumping the brakes. In other situations, people may look at it like, oh, he shouldn't have let me go, or he shouldn't have let me do this, or I shouldn't have let him do that. But you can never understand people's family dynamics. If it works for them, if both of them are in accordance, if both of them have agreed, because it is a partnership and it is an agreement, they have agreed that this is what they want to do at this point in time, then this is what they are going to do, because it works best for their family. What we did may not work for other people, and that is what you have to understand. Marriage, it is not a one size fits all. Yes, there are things that needs to be done that are one size fits all, but it's never 100% one size fits all, because there are things that will work for me and there are things that will work for you. So you cannot compare where I am right now with where you are, because there are things that I am willing to do. There are things that I am willing to sacrifice. There are things that I'm willing to give up, that maybe you, on the other hand, are not willing to do all those things. And that is what makes the difference. When I left my baby, the guilt was killing me. People were asking me to wean her off breastfeeding, but I had breastfed all my kids, so I couldn't just take her off at 4 months old. So what I did was I did researches. I was Googling, I was doing research day in, day out to figure out how I can still produce breast milk without her latching on it, because breast milk produces when your baby latches on. But then if you stop breastfeeding, like skin to skin, it reduces the amount of milk that you can produce. So I had to take all sorts of natural herbs so that I could be able to still produce milk even though I was away from home. So what I did is I would express and express and express, and then I would freeze it and ship it overnight shipping. It was very expensive, it was very painful, but then I knew that these too shall pass. I knew what we were trying to achieve, and that it will benefit not only us but our family as a whole. And there were times where I was going to make baby puree and freeze it as well, because I was trying to, supplement her so that she can not only have breast milk, but she can have other forms of nutritious meals. And this is how we did it for a whole year. I was flying back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, because I needed to be there for my family while doing the things that needed to be done. You need to work as a unit. You need to show up for each other every day, believing that you can become that which you want to become. I strongly believe that there is no way in the universe that my husband or myself could have been who we are today or who we are aspiring to become if we didn't meet each other, or if we didn't decide to work as a unit. Because many things in his life, especially career-wise, I saw that he was capable of it. I brought the idea and we pushed. Likewise, myself, I was never a consistent person. I was never disciplined, but he taught me how to be disciplined. He taught me how to be consistent, because he's the kind of person that when he says he's going to do something, nothing can stop him from doing that. So I learned that trait from him. I learned that when I say that I will make a video for YouTube, I should do that video for YouTube. If I say that I want to be consistent at something, I need to learn how to be consistent, because he is my accountability and he pushes me to be a better version of myself. Likewise, I push him to be a better version of himself. And that serves our family, that serves our purpose, that serves us and the kids and everyone around us. Do not quit on your marriage. Do what it takes to make it work. If this is somebody that you chose, if this is somebody that you love, and you know that both of you love each other, both of you can work together, both of you trust each other, then there is nothing that will stop you from doing all what you need to do to be the family that you want to be. Thank you for watching today's video. Please do not forget to hit that subscription button. Also hit the notification bell. That way you know when we have new uploads. Share this video with your friends and family. That way they get to know what we're doing here. Thank you so much and have a fab one. Bye guys.